see you, George. Thank you.
How are things?
Things are good. I'm glad to be back in Ottawa, although I'm sorry that I can't go skating like I did when I was here 10 years ago.
We spent a lot of, we don't have winter anymore here.
No,
Climate change has been great for us. You've characterized women's issues as become less about a soft issue, and you've made it a security issue publicly very often.
Yes.
Things like Iran and nuclear weapons, things like North Korea, Middle East, all of a sudden they're all presented as security issues. Have you found that you weren't getting traction on women's issues prior to the change of tone? And have you noticed a difference?
Great question. And my view, George, is that they've always been security issues, but people haven't quite put them into that context. I actually think the case is easier made today because if you look at where a lot of this conflict that we are confronting comes from, places where women are really treated like second-class citizens, where they're not given their voice, where they don't have very many rights. There is a direct correlation between societies like that deny women their opportunities, and societies that are breeding grounds for extremism and, unfortunately, terrorism.
For women's issues, contraception and abortion, are they priorities to you? How do you feel they fit in?
Well, they are priorities to me because I think that what's called reproductive health is a priority. And I think we should be beyond arguing about family planning. Rich women in every culture have access to family planning. Mm-hmm. It's poor women who don't. So family planning, to me, should be just obvious and available. Abortion is and remains a really controversial, difficult, profoundly challenging issue to people. But that's why I am pro-choice. I believe that you should make the choice that is right for you, your family, your conscience. And at some point, we need to say, look, women have a right to plan their own families, and let's get beyond this debate.
So would you talk to the Prime Minister? Is that how it works, where you would make your feelings known towards the Prime Minister, saying, listen, this is where we need to go? Because we're not beyond it in this country yet, because it keeps coming up.
Well, we're not beyond it in our country either. I'm just expressing, what I consider to be, the position that reflects the reality of most people's lives. I'm perfectly respectful of people who have religious objections to either family planning or abortion, but their religious objections should not, in my view, determine what women who don't share the same views can do going forward. I think that what President Obama and the administration has done is to begin once again to put our country on the right path, both internationally and domestically. This week, for example, finally, health care bill passes. Mm-hmm. Hard fought. I know how hard it is.
Are you happy with what has been accomplished?
I am, and I am because I know how hard it is to make this change. I have envied the Canadian political system which produced your single-payer health care program. And I know how hard it was for Canada, but you got it done, mm-hmm. and you went on from there. And we now really have a commitment to universal care that I think we will be able to implement, help millions of people, and we'll take stock of it. I mean, you're never done with these kinds of things. You learn all the time. But it was a very important step.